to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
alizokuwa akizifanya hayati Padri Paul Haule tunaziendeleza na kuzienzi.
The armed robbery case number 105 of 2021 facing former High District Commissioner Lengai Olasabaya and 2 others has been concluded today, with the presiding judge, Senior Resident Magistrate Odira Amoro, setting October 1st as the ruling day. Here's more.
The case, which took place for more than a month, was concluded with the defense of the third accused, Daniel Mbura, whereby the inaccuracy over his real name was the key focus in his defense during his testimony and his cross-questioning by government prosecutors. Before the case was closed, the defense's advocates closed by informing the court that they had no other witnesses than those 3, while the chief state prosecutor asked the court for 7 days to prepare and submit the written summary of the case, which was approved by Senior Magistrate Amoro.
Tunachokisubiri kwa sasa hivi ni kuwasilisha majumuisho.
What we are waiting for is to submit summary to all sides as directed by the court, but we are also looking forward to the judgment day, which is 1st of October.
Siwezi kuongelea utetezi jinsi ulivyokuwa kwa sababu
I can't talk about the defense, how it was, because everyone was able to hear. We are waiting for the court judgment after all the evidence is completed.
Tunasubiri hukumu ya mahakama. Baada.
And Konga MP Jerry Slaa has arrived in Dodoma in response to the summons by the Speaker of Parliament, Jerome Dugai, which required him to appear before the Parliament's Rights, Ethics and Powers Committee to answer various allegations against him, including lying and lowering the Parliament's status and respect.
Jana kama ilivyokuwa jana yale makosa au hati ya wito.
As from yesterday, they are here to respond to summons by the Speaker of Parliament for them to answer allegations against them, including Honorable Josephat Gwajima and Honorable Jerry Slaa. The allegations are lies and lower Parliament status and respect. We are using Parliament Acts, Rights, Ethics and Power in running this hearing.
Zaidi sana tutekeleze matakwa ya katiba, ibara ya 63, ibara ya 81 ya kuweka maslahi ya wananchi mbele. Lakini la tatu, tukumbuke katika mamlaka yote ya kibinadamu yako mamlaka makubwa juu yetu ya Mwenyezi Mungu.
And meat traders in Songea district, Ruvuma region, have protested against using the new modern abattoir at Tanga school due to the 18,000 shilling fee and a 3,500 shillings fine. However, the strike was halted after both parties discussed and agreed to use the abattoir while talks are ongoing.
There are some misunderstandings. That is why we are calling on the government to have a dialogue with traders, because we have demands that needs to be heard. The strike will continue until we have a dialogue with the government.
Ushuru huu tunaolipa mkubwa. Manyanyaso tunayopata ni mengi kutoka shule ya Tanga kuja mjini gari shilingi.
We are paying a lot of tax, yet we are still oppressed. From bus fare to Tanga is 10,000 shillings. Tax 21,500 shillings. We buy cattle at higher prices. We told the chairman we can't handle this burden anymore. If things won't change, then we shall no longer slaughter our cattle.
Tanzania Rural and Urban Roads Agency's e-revenue management information system, TERMIS, for parking charges has officially been launched today and is expected to commence in Dar es Salaam from the 1st of September as part of the government's goal to stop loss of revenue.
Changamoto ni kwamba wapo watu ambao. Challenge we have is that some people do not work in Tarura, a city or municipality that has established the revenue collection process. This system will be the end of this scam. There has been a loss of revenue due to cash collection.
Tuko hapa Dar es Salaam ku-introduce mfumo mpya, sio mfumo in fact njia mpya.
We want to introduce a new way of payment through phones, banks, and this eliminates cash charges. If you are told to pay so, you have to report. Now we are paying through mobile phones or agencies, and we have started the system in some regions like Iringa, Singida, Dodoma, and Mwanza.
Anyway, ambapo utakuwa unaambiwa kwamba ulipe kwa keshi, ujue kwamba hayo ni makosa.
And that is all for the national news. International news is next.
Are you ready for some great news? I'm Christine Mundwa.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. with the brand new DW News Africa,
The show that tackles the issues shaping the continent.
now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
In international news, Zambia's newly elected leader Hakainde Hichilema has been sworn in after an election victory hailed as a rare triumph over authoritarianism and a milestone in African democracy.
Having been constitutionally elected to the office of the President of the Republic of Zambia, do swear and development. We pray that God shall empower our President.
Hichilema took oath of office on Tuesday before thousands of jubilant supporters gathered at the Hero Stadium in the capital Osaka. Among the guests were opposition politicians from the region, as well as former and current African leaders, including President Samia Suluhu Hassan of Tanzania. On his sixth bid for the president, Hichilema defeated the incumbent Edgar Lungu by nearly 1 million votes, a landslide spurred by economic hardship and restricted freedoms under the previous government.
And Kenya and Tanzania have signed 3 cooperation agreements at the 4th Joint Cooperation Commission meeting held in Nairobi, Kenya. In the meeting, the 2 countries agreed to strengthen cooperation on political diplomacy, education and border areas.
I'm also pleased that during the course of our meeting, we reviewed the status of our cooperation in immigration, labor, correctional services, refugees, police, joint border administrators, commissioners, committees, public service management, justice border issues, cultural, social integration and national heritage, health, youth affairs and sports, gender, children and social development, transport, fisheries, agriculture, livestock, energy, tourism, industry and trade, and of course, political and diplomatic cooperation, to mention a few. We are optimistic that our sectoral cooperation will further enhance the friendly relations and cooperation between our 2 countries and deepen the excellent collaboration that currently exists. In this regard, the agreements reached here in the 3 MOUs that have been concluded and signed today on political and diplomatic consultations, the reaffirmation on international boundary, and higher education, science and technology will serve entirely the expectation of our 2 governments and peoples, premised on cooperation, stability and prosperity. We are sincerely committed to the deliberations of this Joint Commission of Cooperation and the MOUs that have been appended, that we have appended our signatures today. And for those that are yet to be finalized, I hope they will be concluded soon for signature and implementation.
Therefore, convening this 4th session is a testament of our determination to further strengthen our relations and explore possible new areas of cooperation with a view to consolidate mutual benefits. At the onset, I wish to record my appreciation to the respective technical teams for their hard work and dedication during the deliberations held in the last 3 days. These officials have done an excellent job, and I am confident that their work will enable us to have fruitful discussions that will not only advance the fraternal ties existing between our countries.
And Prime Minister Sama Lukonde of the Democratic Republic of Congo has visited Beni and Oicha, which have been affected by frequent rebel attacks and killings since 2010 to date. During the visit, he assured citizens that measures are being taken to improve the security situation in the areas.
Pole tena. Pole tena. Ile kazi tu kunafanya hapo sasa hii etat de siège ndio amani ndio na mwe mpate namna ya kuduria kwa manyumba yenu.
The government of Uganda has set aside 20 billion shillings, equivalent to $5.7 million, for teachers in private schools who have been economically affected after schools were closed last year to control the spread of coronavirus infections.
We have sent an MOU, like he said.
We have a contract with teachers union who are not paid by the government. As the government, we shall continue working close with this group in order to ensure that these funds are spent accordingly. What is important is to see that every one of them has benefited.
On how best this money can be.
That's all for the international news. Business News follows next.
Tune in to Business Edition and meet business leaders and experts who keep you informed on business and economic developments taking place in the country, such as tourism, construction, energy, transport, mining, agriculture, communication, banking, real estate, and more. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m. only on Capital Television.
And in business news, Tanzania Revenue Authority in Manyara region has called on traders to use electronic fiscal devices, the EFDs, and issue receipts to consumers, warning that those who fail to comply will have legal measures taken against them.
The problem we are facing is how to keep records. As for us, we are dealing with keeping records. And to avoid the inconvenience in tax estimations, we advise the traders to keep the records so that it can be easy for us to do the tax estimates. Traders should try all the time, as you have been advised, to provide EFD machine receipt for all the selling you have done. Apart from all the complaints you have raised, but we went beyond 108%. For that, congratulations. Officer in charge for tax education should disseminate the education mostly in rural areas. By doing that, we will be able to collect more revenue in the region.
The Ministry of Agriculture has said it will continue to put more emphasis on cashew nut production in order to achieve its target of producing 700,000 tons a year by 2026 from 200,000 tons during the 2020-2021 season.
Mara ya mwisho tuliweza kuzalisha tani 313,000 mwaka 2018.
The last time we produced over 300 tons in 2018. After that, cashew nut productions were decreasing, and this was caused by lack of awareness in uses of pesticides and generally good farming of the crop.
Lengo letu ni kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba wanakabiliana na changamoto.
Our aim is to ensure that farmers control challenges faced in farming cashew nut, including pests and diseases. Nyasa is a district which does not have any strategic crop. Thus, it is our responsibility to ensure that cashew nut becomes the first strategic crop in the district.
Ambalo sasa litaweza kuzalishwa hapa wilaya ya Nyasa, lakini pia kama bodi ya korosho tumejiandaa kuhakikisha kwamba korosho zinazozalishwa katika wilaya hii zinaweza kubanguliwa.
And Kigoma region has launched the second pepper planting season. Many farmers venturing to grow the crop after seeing how other farmers benefited last year.
Chili is a new crop. From what I have learned, this crop will alleviate me from poverty.
Uhakika wa soko ni kwamba soko hili la pilipili kichaa.
Hot chili markets are huge at global level. Its demands are very high. That is why we use government officers and agricultural stakeholders to sensitize farming of this crop.
Na wadau wa maendeleo kwa ujumla kuhamasisha wakulima waingie kwa wingi katika uzalishaji wa zao hili.
That's the end of business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lent.
And now in sports. The Paralympics competition starts today, whereby Tanzania is being represented by Ignas Mtweve in the discus competition and Sauda Njopeka, who will participate in the shot put event.
Tuko hapa tukisubiri kupanda mabasi kuelekea.
We are waiting to get into the buses heading to the stadium for the opening ceremony. The one who will hold the Tanzania team national flag will be Ignas Mtweve. This is his first time.
The first younger group has arrived from Morocco ahead of their much-awaited Wananchi Week, which reaches its climax this Sunday.
Kikosi chetu cha Yanga kwa maana ya awamu ya kwanza.
The younger first group of the squad has arrived this afternoon. 2 other players arrived last night, so a total of 29 people have already arrived. There we had 34 people, so for now only a few people remain.
Tottenham are in talks with Wolves over a potential deal for Adama Traore and looks set to complete a deal for highly rated teenage midfielder Pape Sarr from Metz.
Traore, who played in Sunday's 1-0 defeat against Spurs, thrived under Nuno Espirito Santo at Molineux and has been identified as the head coach's preferred target to boost his attacking options. Tottenham are understood to be preparing a bid for the 25-year-old Spain international, who has 2 years remaining on his Wolves contract but has yet to agree an extension with the club he joined from Middlesbrough in 2018 despite opening talks last year. Among the options for Spurs could be an attempt to sign Traore on loan with an option to make his move permanent for around £40 million. PSV Eindhoven's England under-21 forward Noni Madueke, who came through the youth ranks at Tottenham before moving to the Netherlands in June 2018, is an alternative option, despite the Dutch club's desire to hold on to one of their prized assets.
Andy Robertson has become the 5th Liverpool player in 4 weeks to extend his contract with the club after committing himself to Anfield until 2026.
The Scotland captain had 3 years remaining on the 5-year deal he signed in 2019, but has been rewarded for his growing influence on and off the pitch with an improved 5-year contract. The 27-year-old joins fellow fullback Trent Alexander-Arnold, Fabinho, Alisson and Virgil van Dijk in signing new long-term deals in recent weeks, as Liverpool invest in retaining the core of the team that has delivered Premier League and Champions League success under Jurgen Klopp. Robertson has established himself as a key influence for club and country since his bargain £8 million transfer from Hull in 2017.
The Australian government has evacuated more than 50 women footballers and athletes and their dependents from Afghanistan following an appeal by world bodies FIFA and FIFPro.
A statement by the International Footballers Federation, FIFPro, expressed gratitude to Australia. Following the retaking of Kabul by the Taliban, many Afghan sportswomen went into hiding. The statement said work was still needed to settle the women abroad. Afghanistan's former football captain, Halida Popal, described the evacuation of the group, which included members of the Afghanistan national women's football team and the youth team, as an important victory.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. My name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and good night.